Call us, email us, tweet, or Facebook us. It isn't a conversation if we do all the talking or eating.
Okay, now on to tackle the dinner table as a family gathering for health. Sandy Richard, mother of 7 children, cooking author and speaker, she understands well the challenge behind the question, what's for dinner? Sandy, so good to have you back. And now you're a grandmother. And the kids are all gone. You are so young and healthful looking.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
we're expecting our third.
Grandchild. Yeah, let's get to the core of this because Rose said we need to break our addiction to restaurants. What is at the core of chaos and busy lives that needs to stop?
Right. It is our families are given so much information about what they're supposed to do that they never feel like they're stacking up. And so I'm supposed to get my son to hockey. I'm supposed to get my daughter to dancing. I'm supposed to do this so that they grow up and they're in an environment that's safe and they're not going down to the corner store.
Where does that inner wellness come from?
Yeah. We have to step back and we have to say, if we're doing all of these things for our family, then let's scrape down to the bottom and just really be there for our family and not in a guilt trip way.
When you shift to food, it becomes a really strong, it's a very strong drive. It's also a spiritual encounter, is what you will do with you and your food. Tell us about that.
You find out things at the dinner table. You get the pulse of your family at the dinner table.
Yeah. So you would say protect that at all cases.
Without laying a guilt trip. So what's happening is our parents are being told to do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, and get to the dinner table.
Yeah.
And they're saying,
Okay, so there's a lot of people in the audience who are single, who are young. I can see them here. They don't have kids sitting all around the table. They can hardly wait to get away from mom's table.
Yes.
But food is still a spiritual issue.
It is.
How do you make sure that you're living with your body being a temple to God?
Well, and that's it. I mean, my walk started when I was really little. I knew I was meant to do something big. And it wasn't really until I was in my 30s that I realized what God had in store for me.
So
and
something bigger was God for you.
So if each one of us, and if we don't understand how significant we are to the world as an individual, no matter how slow you are, I was slow. Who am I?
So were you significant to the world or were you significant to God?
I was significant, of course, to God, but God needed to use me in the world. And it didn't matter. In fact, it was more proof in that I was, I wasn't this brainchild. I wasn't anything special.
And so you began applying that sense that God has a mark on your life.
Yes.
And that began applying to how you mothered and how you have started this food, this healthy eating.
Well, when I started understanding that if I knew what I was having for dinner at the end of the day, I knew how to eat in the day, which helped me. But I also noticed what changed in my family. There was a shift. There was less chaos. There was more calm. And the more calm there was, the better dinner time. I didn't want it to go away. The more that happened, women started recognizing, women who would bring their kids maybe to my house, play with my kids, they started noticing, I can't believe you're doing this. How is this working out? So really, God had a really big plan for me in that step by step, bit by bit, I was meant to help. So I say to people, when we treat our body as a temple, we're staying healthy to do what we were intended to do. And we all know what that means. There's that little thing,
so
tapping us on the shoulder saying, you're supposed to be doing this.
So for
right, Barry?
Keeping a healthy, maintained body is part of God's call to beauty in your life. God's call to purpose, God's call to function. Yeah.
I do think so. And that's not to say that when, we go through periods of being unhealthy, as I did, but I just think that it's really important that we understand that we are meant to do something big, all of us, no matter where you came from, no matter how smart you are. You're meant to do something amazing.
And be good
There's a
to
plan
yourself.
for you.
Be good to
So
yourself
be
with your
good
food.
to yourself.
Be good to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy Richard, thank you so much. You've given everybody in the audience one of your cookbooks.
Yes.
That's great. And in a moment, and you got a new TV show coming out very soon.
do.
It's called
Double Duty Dinner.
on the Food Network.
Watch for it in the new year.
Double Duty Dinner. All right, in a moment, some parting thoughts on bread, life, and the bread of life. We'll be right back.
We want you to be a part of our studio audience. If you're in the Toronto area, contact us. We've got a seat with your name on it.
The world's all-time bestseller isn't a cookbook, but it has a lot to say about food, meals, and eating right. When the Bible records what Paul wrote in Corinthians, that our body is a temple, he meant that we were designed with great care and that God's Holy Spirit is meant to dwell here. The Bible gave us the phrase, break bread, and Jesus himself was called the bread of life. Food can be simple fuel, or it can be a celebration of all the gifts we're given. A table can be a place to hold your plate, or a cherished place of thanks, friendship, hospitality, and the exchange of ideas and growing each other. Eating right, however you choose to define it, is about opportunity to feed body and soul. After all, why just invest in food when you can get a spiritual experience in return? Be good to yourself about food. For the entire team at Context, thanks for watching. We've got both of our cookbook authors up on the site. You can figure out how you can win one of the cookbooks when you go to our social media. I'm Lorna Dueck. Join us next week as we explore life beyond the headlines.